And welcome to Capital Talk, a program we hope will have an impact on the future of Kenya. And now, more than ever, I'm Jeff Koinange. Now, all this week, as we've been telling you, it's all about Kenya film and television. That's right, especially in light of this past weekend's Kalasha Film and Television Awards, first ever to recognize and give a little credit to the Kenyan film industry. It is struggling. The actors, the actresses, directors, writers, producers, having a hard time putting Kenyan film together, but there's a passion. And you saw it this past weekend at the awards show. That's right. And there were fantastic films that were recognized and won a whole bunch of awards. Films you may never have heard of. I certainly hadn't heard of some of them before that show, but now I'm really into them. Like this one and my guest today. The movie that she wrote, produced, directed is called Unseen, Unsung, and Unforgotten. A film about AIDS. That's right, topical issue that got 8 nominations in the Kalasha Awards. Ended up winning 2 for Best Editing and Best Supporting Actress. That's right. Did really, really well for a movie that was, a low budget, if you will, but did fantastically well. And we'll tell you more about it with my guest who studied script writing in the UK and decided to come back home and do her thing. And she's done it with her very first film. She's working on another film. This is what it's all about, coming back home, promoting the film industry. Let's waste no more time. My guest, Mona Ombogo Scott. Mona
Hello,
Ombogo
Jeff.
Scott. That's a double barrel name.
Yeah, that's a mouthful, isn't it?
That's right.
I have to say it slowly.
Yes,
Mona
do I.
Ombogo Scott.
Yeah,
So
correct.
people-
Listen, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's fantastic. Unseen, unsung, I have to put this up, right, so that we
Yeah.
can see. It's a movie about?
It's about people living with HIV/AIDS
Good.
and how it affects their friends, their families. And we're pretty much telling people we can't stigmatize this disease. It's a disease, like any other disease.
Yeah.
And we're also saying if you do have it, it's not the end of your life. Basically, you can live on. I mean, we have really good medication these days and we have good support systems. So we're just trying to get that message out there. You can live your full, complete life.
Yeah.
Just get the right support and talk to the right people. And you can have your life.
Excellent. Before we go on about the movie, let's talk about this award and congratulations. You can hold it up there so that we can get that on camera because this is a proud moment.
Yeah, it is.
Best Supporting Actress and Best Editing. Were you surprised?
Not really. Yes and no, because we did a good job. We know we had a great production. The editing, was fantastic. Lydia Gitashu, she was fantastic. The editing was done by Wanjeri Mburu, and she was awesome. So we were not surprised because we did expect to come away with at least something, but we were excited. We were very, very excited.
Yeah.
And you don't know how excited you'll be until they actually say your name and scene and sign. It was a great, great, great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the beginning, and for those who weren't at the award show, and it was a great, great event, and the Vice President can attest to this. The first couple of awards went to From a Whisper, Wanurika here.
Yeah.
So everyone was thinking, oh my goodness, this is going to be a
Exactly. That's what we were thinking as well. So when the first 2 went to her, we're like, okay then guys, just settle in, take off your shoes, but at least we're here. At that point we're consoling ourselves. At least we came, at least we had nominations, So when the first Unseen came, so when the first one was called for Unseen, at that point we were surprised. Before the night side, we thought we'd get something, but when it started and they were going to From a Whisper, we're like, okay then. So at that point we were surprised, and it was awesome. I almost jumped on the table.
You should have.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, 8 nominations, Mona, for your first ever movie. I mean, that's pretty incredible by any standards.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How does it feel? I mean, you must. This is what you were born to do, right?
Yeah.
You must feel that way.
Yeah. It's not hit me completely yet, because I think for us we're just trying to keep our head down, just do what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing. But when you sit down and think of it, 8, that's huge, especially considering a lot of us on the project were new to the project. Even the other director, her name is Njoki Mbuthia. We actually had 2 directors. This was her first feature. She directs usually documentaries or music videos. So a lot of us on that set were new to it completely. The producers, Ronnie Ombogo, Patrick Kabugi, first production. So we just like to say we were blessed. We were it was divine blessing. for us to have gotten this far.
Yeah, but obviously, Mona, that means that the talent is there.
Yeah,
Right?
the talent is there, and I think it's inbuilt. You know, there's a certain amount of talent you can be taught, and there's a certain amount of talent you just have. So I believe that we are gifted. Yeah, we're definitely gifted with that. Yeah.
At the end of this, and of course we'll talk more about this movie, but is there hope? Is the message of hope there in this movie, or at the end of it do you say, good Lord, you know, we're doomed?
No, our whole message is hope. Yeah, in fact, our catchphrase for the movie is now hope is. So pretty much what we're saying again is that it doesn't matter if you do have this disease or if someone you love has this disease. I mean, it matters, but at the same time, it's not the end of the it's not the end of the journey, and it's pretty much up to us as a society as well. I think one of the worst things about HIV is how the society takes it. If we took it as a disease and didn't stigmatize people or segregate them, I think 3/4 of the problems wouldn't be there. You know, because most people, they're sick, but something else that brings them down is the hopelessness, the feeling of hopelessness, you know, or an outcast, or as if they should be ashamed of themselves. So if we remove that, I think we'll remove a lot of the bite of this disease. And once we've done that, then we can really concentrate on the cures and the support systems, and I think we'll be more than halfway there.
Absolutely. Well said, well said. Listen, for those people who don't understand, because, you know, people walk into a video store and pick up a DVD and have no idea about what goes into the movie. Just explain to us, what was it like on the set of Unseen, Unsung, and Unforgotten?
Whew, long hours. One of the longest hours we did was we did a 21-hour day. We went home, slept for 2 hours, came back, and then did like a 12-hour day. So the hours are really long. And the reason why we were doing it like that is, again, low budget. So if you have a location, say someone tells you can only come on Saturday from 10 to 11, that's it. If you miss that boat, you miss the boat. You have to find a new location, which means you're rescripting, you know, so it's a lot of hassle to do that. So the long hours, we had a lot of transport issues, you know, you're stuck in traffic, you can't start shooting because a cast member is not there. Again, a lot of it goes down to budget because we only had 2 vans, which means that if the vans are stuck somewhere, that's it, they're stuck somewhere. You know, in Hollywood productions, each main character will have their own car. Right. So they'll go and pick them up and bring them. And of course, I'm sure their transport issues are not as crazy as ours here in Nairobi. So, so you have that as well. So getting actors there on time, getting food there on time. Yeah. We had a number of occasions where the food was late. So people are filming, they're starving, you know, but, you know, they're just trying to brave it and muscle on. Right. And I remember one of the most fun moments for me was when the caterer he was really late, like 3 hours late. And at some point, people were like, you know what, that's it. We're hungry. We're not working anymore. And so we all just formed a circle and we're doing, those nursery rhymes that you do when you sing along. Those. So we started, waiting for food. So that's what we were doing. We're singing hymns and stuff, waiting for food, waiting for him to show up. And it was really, really fun. We were hungry, but it was fun. And when he showed up, we're all clapping, surrounding his car, you know, so.
You didn't throw rocks at him or anything?
No, we didn't. We welcomed him with love. Yeah. So.
What about, and you shot on only one camera, right?
Yes.
For 30 days?
Yeah. Wow. One camera for 30 days. A lot of film is shot on one camera mainly, unless it's like an action sequence. And that's because of the lighting. If you have 2 cameras and you're doing like a proper film, the editing, number 1, is difficult. And number 2, the lighting cannot be the same for every scene depending on what you're saying. So it's in Hollywood, they advise you use one camera for feature films, especially if you want like a moving scene, the lighting will be different. So they don't like to blanket light. Okay. So that they use one camera usually, unless it's an action sequence or something really difficult to shoot, then they'll do multiple. So at least that one, it wasn't too hard. It takes a long time, you know, because a 5-minute scene, you can shoot that for like 4 hours, depending on what the thing is. But then you get the best quality out of it that way.
At the end of 30 days of shooting, did you know, Mona, we have something here? You know, we've struck gold here.
Not yet. I think we started thinking that when we did the actual editing and started piecing it together, and they're thinking, guys, this is great. This is some great stuff. Because for the 30 days, we're seeing different clips. And they looked good. The quality looked good. We were really shocked about that. But we didn't see the whole thing together. So when we started seeing the movie coming together, we're thinking, wow, okay, this is awesome. Because I didn't expect it to be that good. I expected something good, you know, passable. so we wouldn't look like clowns. But
Okay.
I didn't expect it that good.
I know our viewers right now are dying to know where can they get a copy of Unseen, Unsung, Unforgotten. The answer is
I like that question. You can get it at more movies, Prestige Plaza.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where we're selling them right now. But soon we'll have them out in more places because we have a distributor now. So he's going to blanket. We'll have them everywhere. We'll have them in supermarkets, bookshops, or so. But for now, we can get them at more movies.
more movies at Prestige Plaza.
Yes.
I guess the bottom line is distribution of your movies, right? Because the more people see it, obviously, the more popular they get,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is that difficult getting? Because, obviously a movie like this, you shot it in what? You edited it or completed it in 2008.
Yeah.
So this should have been out. I mean,
Yeah,
this should have been
it should have been out. It
mainstream.
should have- exactly. Distribution is very hard in this country right now. Number one, we don't really have proper systems that someone can use. We don't have huge companies that can buy off. Because ideally, what you'd want is a distribution company to buy off the rights and just take it and do what they need to do with it. We have, now we have Devu. They're pretty new in the distribution industry, and they're really trying to do distribution the way it's supposed to be done. So we've actually signed on with them to do the distribution for us.
Right.
So we know it's gonna pick up. And again, like you say, once people know the movie's out there and they go and buy it, the more people are interested, the more distributors will come up because this is a way you can actually make money.
Correct.
And the bigger the industry will grow. But it goes down to how many tickets can you sell, how many DVDs can you sell. That's how they make their movie out there. But for us here, before you'd put something at New Metro and maybe you get 1,000 people coming to watch, which is nothing.
No.
That's nothing. So we need, and then marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to.
Have to push that, huh?
Yeah, we need to pick up on the marketing and the distribution.
And we have to mention at this point, Mona, that you're not filthy rich from this movie. In fact,
No, less than we're in debt. Actually, yeah, we're in debt from this. So
you're smiling and you're in.
I know. You have to be positive, and then the positive energy comes and takes you, to where you want to go.
But Mona, that must be challenging. I mean, you're working on your next movie already, but your first movie has put you in debt.
Yes.
Is that how Hollywood works as well? I mean, because if you're comparing us with there, when we get there, our directors over there, producers, are they in debt in the beginning before they actually make it?
I believe they are because one of someone I was talking to is a Hollywood director, and you were saying he knows a lot of people. I was telling him what happened with our movie, and you were saying he knows so many of his friends as well who are in Hollywood who are in debt because you do something, you think it's gonna take off, or in our case, you're promised money from sponsors, which doesn't come out in the end, and by that time you're in debt already because you owe people, you've done the production. So he says he knows a lot of people who are in that situation, even in Hollywood. So I think when you're starting out, it happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
It does. But you just have to keep your focus. And for us, we have the scripting for the next film, and we're trying to see how to get money for the next film. But at the same time, we can't really take off with the next film until we sort this one out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a double-edged sword,
Exactly.
or catch-22 almost.
Exactly. You're out there filming, and then you still owe people. It doesn't ring right for us.
But you guys still do it, Mona. I don't understand this. You guys still
Why we
have
stay?
the passion. Yes.
It's what you do. For me, I can't. There's nothing else I can do. This is it. This is what I'm a writer. This is what I know how to do. I could go to an office and work as a receptionist or a secretary, but in the end, it kills you. So you just have to keep. You have to keep pushing.
You have to soldier on.
Yeah, soldier on, exactly. And eventually it pays off. We say when the music industry started, we were part of Balozi Productions. So we were dancers.
That's right.
And we stayed in that industry for a little bit, and then we stepped out. We thought, no, what, this is not how we're going to make our money. And now people who were back there with us, they're laughing.
They're celebs.
Yeah, they're celebrities. So we would have been there already.
Sure.
So it's really about just choosing something and then sticking to it. And if it's your passion, just keep on. Don't give up. Keep doing it.
Mona, I want to talk more about that, and also your new movie. I know it's you've almost finished scripting for that, and you're doing a television series as well, because you're busy writing, man. You're busy. And also, Kenya film industry, how much help, support do they give you guys, okay? But first, we'll take a break.
Okay.
My guest today, Mona Ombogo Scott. You got to say that slowly, right? Ombogo Scott. Wow, scriptwriter, director, producer. Look at that. Her first ever movie, Unseen, Unsung, Unforgotten, won 2 Kalasha Film and Television Awards, 8 nominations, and she's selling it at Prestige Plaza. Check it out, because this is one great movie. It's about AIDS, topical issue. leaving a lot of hope. I tell you, a lot of hope on this bench. All week long we're talking about the Kenya film and television industry, and we have the best of the best all week. Don't even think of going away. Capital Talk is back in a moment. And welcome back to Capital Talk. All this week, it's about the Kenya film and television industry, coming on the heels of the inaugural Kalasha Film and Television Awards this past weekend. And what an event it was. We saw some newcomers, we saw some first-timers who did fantastically well, like my guest today with the movie simply known as Unseen, Unsung, and Unforgotten. Movie you need to see because it's so topical. It's about AIDS, that's right. And we're talking about it, especially the young people. That's what it's all about. And my guest today, only 31 years old, is a scriptwriter, director, producer. She did this movie and won 2 awards already. A lot of pressure on young Mona Ombogo Scott. Doesn't that put a lot of pressure, Mona, on your next movie?
Yes, thank you. You had to go and
I had to go there. Right? Because, you win 2 awards, 8 nominations. You must think, oh, you know what? Spike Lee, I've arrived.
No, not quite. But I think for me and for us in the movie, we know it's a group effort. So we really focus on that. Like, we had 2 directors, we had 3 producers. So I think the pressure for me comes when it comes to the screenplay, the writing. Then that's where all the pressure comes. But once you've done that and you take the script out there, it's a group effort completely, So there is a lot of pressure, yes, but at the same time you're thinking just try and shut it out. Just shut it out and pretend this is your first ever, and pretend no one has ever heard of you, you've never done anything, and then take it from there.
You know what, Mona? The one problem I find in our business is writing. Mm-hmm. People, I don't know whether it was the education system or whatever it was, people cannot write or have difficulty writing. Uh-huh. So when you find a script writer, one who studies script writing, that's a bonus.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. A lot of our productions, even some of our film, you can tell when you're watching it that there wasn't a script or the script was really put quickly together. And then there's a difference between a storyteller and a writer. And I think we have brilliant storytellers, but we don't have a lot of writers. And like you're saying, it's probably because writing was never taken seriously in school. It's what you do, composition, in English, and then you pass your exam and you're good. Yeah. But writing has to come from inside. It has to, and I think writing is one of those things either you have or you don't have. You can be taught, but you can also tell. There's some writers who are they're writers, you can tell, and then there's some who they've learned the art. Correct. So I don't think we don't have writers. I think we do, but maybe they've just not come out yet, or they've not been encouraged to write, and so they've branched off into other things. Yeah. But like for me, I've been writing. My mom says when I was 2, I used to walk around with a pen and a pencil and a paper, and I used to scribble on everything. Wow. So if you left your books, I'd scribble on it. That's what she says, And
you're still scribbling.
And I'm still scribbling. Yeah. So she was telling me the other day. At least now it's it's made some sense. All those books you've ruined. Yeah. Now it's made some sense. Absolutely. So. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of writing, your next project, right? Mm-hmm. Tell us about it and what's the whole thing about?
It's called Emergency X. Hopefully we'll be able to do it either late this year or early next year. And it's a movie based loosely on the chaos, the post-political, post-election violence. Yes. And it's telling the story of somebody who went through that. And inside there, we want to loosely we're not saying like this is the Kenyan story. We're just taking a blanket story. This is what happens when politics goes wrong. Yeah, so that's where Emergency X is coming from.
And it can apply across the board, not just in Kenya,
Yeah, not just in Kenya, across Africa, and even across the world. I mean, like we like to say like Africa is really wrong politics-wise, but I think it's everywhere. The only difference out there is that they have systems that actually work. So even when the politics is going wrong, the systems are still upholding the countries. But in Kenya, I think we've yet to come to a place where we have systems that will work regardless of what's happening with the politics. Yeah, so for this movie, we want to touch on that, and that's why it's called Emergency X, which is like in Africa, there's always an emergency somewhere. It's famine, it's disease, it's drought, it's people fighting. So this is Emergency X, and we're trying to say this is how we can avoid this sort of emergency. So this is how we can deal with these sort of emergencies. And one of the things we want to tell people with the script is that you have to have your own mind. You cannot afford to be used by people. You know, you can't afford to be used by politicians. You can't afford to be used by your family. So think of what you're doing as you first. And at the end of the day, to pick up a weapon against your neighbor for whatever reason, that is not the solution. So we're trying to say if all of us refuse to be used by whoever is using people, then we won't have the problem we had, you know, back in 2000 and when was it? 2008.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's well put, because, you know, for young people, that's exactly what we've been trying to push all along. It's time to stop being used by others.
Yeah.
And if your generation can push that, push that theme agenda,
Yeah.
we can make it.
Yeah,
we can do it.
Yeah.
So how long did it take to write this, or are you still writing it?
I'm still writing it. Yeah, I've done just the first 2 drafts, but I'm told a good script usually takes like 15. So yeah, a really, really good script will take about that. So I'm yet a ways to go, and I'm actually getting help from a director, someone in Hollywood, and he was here for a script writing workshop, which I was part of.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's, you know, we want to go back and forth with this, so he's going to give me a lot of help in this.
Has he seen the drafts? Has he seen?
He's seen the draft.
What does he think?
And he likes it. He likes it a lot. But the first draft was really, really rough. So I kept telling him, this is rough, you know. But he's seen it. He likes the premise. He thinks it's something we can actually do. So now it's just, you know, tidying it up and trying to do it professionally. And another thing we need to get out of as Kenyans is sometimes we think because I'm writing a movie in Kenya and there's not that many movies out there, I can just do a substandard or, you know, just do enough. But right now we want to do it thinking of, if this was to go out in Hollywood, would it be good enough? If this was to go out in Europe, would it be good enough? Not just for Kenyans, but worldwide. And I think that's how we can improve our quality.
That's the next step, Mona, isn't it? We have to compete with, like a couple of years ago, the South African movie Tsotsi did fantastically well, right? Can we be, I mean, obviously we write as well as others. We have the technology, well, we don't have the technology, but we have the basics.
Yeah, we have the talent.
The talent is there.
Yeah.
Can we be as good as them?
I think we can. I believe we can. But again, the emphasis is we have to stop saying just getting there is enough. You know, we have to stop saying just because I've directed a movie, that's it, I've reached. We have to stop saying that. And we have to keep on shooting, shoot for the sky, always. And I think once we do that, once we strive for excellence, all this stuff, we'll get it. You know, because the Kenyan industry film, it's relatively new. And already we have movies like, you know, From a Whisper, which has gone to New York, and we have In My Genes, a documentary, and that's, you know, that's gone and won some awards as well. That's gone and been recognized as well. And we're starting out. So you can imagine if we're starting out and we're already making waves, in 5-10 years, if we keep pushing ourselves, where are we going to be? And like I always say, Kenya it's hot property for Hollywood. You know, there's 11 movies about being made this year and next year based in Kenya or about Kenyans. So if they're coming here to do our stories, why can't we do our own stories and do them well? And
can our stories be, you know, can we get a movie in the Oscars made by Kenyans, produced by Kenyans, directed by Kenyans? Can we do that?
Absolutely. That's our goal. Like when we started doing this, in fact, even for Unforgotten, we were laughing and like, Oscars, here we come. And I think that's something we need to all of us have in our heads. Push for it. Absolutely. I do not see why not Slumdog Millionaire. I mean, they got, 8 awards at the Oscars? And that was it was their story. We didn't have what I call like the Western hero. You know, a lot of the time, if you want to make it at the Oscars,
Will Smith or Denzel Washington.
You have to put in a Western hero usually for you to be recognized. But they did it without Amy just telling the stories, and they made it. And I watched the movie and I absolutely loved it. You know, and I identified with it. So yeah, we can definitely get there. It's just excellence. It's
going to take you guys to keep pushing that, huh?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you'll walk on that red carpet, won't you? The real red carpet.
The real red carpet.
Although the carnival one wasn't bad, huh?
Not to say it was, the carnival one was awesome. It was a bit disconcerting because like I was telling my friend, I'm used to popcorn and pizza. You know, all this dressed up, I'm a jeans and t-shirts girl. So all these cameras flashing, I'm thinking, oh goodness me, you know, do we have to do this?
Wasn't it great though?
It was great.
It's good fun.
It was awesome. And they actually had people screaming as you arrived as well. And you know, we arrived in the Prados. So it was cool. It was good fun. It was great fun.
We can do it here,
we can do it. Yeah. I mean, even like for the Kalasha Awards, it was awesome. They did it was a great effort considering this is the first time. But I believe even for that, we should continue to strive for more excellence. And
that's when the Kenya Film Commission comes in, right? They have to really push this agenda.
They have to. And they're trying. I know they get a lot of flack from, you know, producers and actors, and we want more. We keep telling them, give me money, give me money, give me money. And it's true, we do need the money, but at the same time, I do believe they are trying because they are starting out as well. The Film Commission is like, what, maybe 3 years old now?
Yeah.
So they're pretty young themselves. And for a 3-year-old organization to come up with this, I think they're doing well. They're trying, but again, it's just what I go back to saying, we have to keep striving for excellence. We cannot be okay with mediocrity. We can't say because we've had Kenya Film Awards, now that's it, we've reached. No, we haven't. We have a long, long way to go. And we just have to keep pushing that. And the Film Commission has to also keep pushing that. And even the Film Commission, but they work, they're part government. So even the government needs to come in and push that for us. Step up to the plate, exactly, and push that for us.
Yeah.
And it's not like we're looking for handouts, because people are like, oh, wananchi, tunaomba serikali. We're always saying that. And it's true that we can't just say, oh, government. But at the same time, we want to tell the government, we are going to push for this and do the best we can. But we are asking you to meet us as well.
Because it's a win-win, huh?
Exactly. It's
they
a win-win.
win, we win, everybody wins.
Exactly. There's money coming in. A few years ago, the Kenyan diaspora was not really looked on as people who can add anything. And just last year, they're saying they bring in billions to the country. And they're now being recognized, Music industry as well is beginning to bring lots of money. Riverwood is bringing in lots of money. So we need to, as we push, we'd like them to at least give us a quarter. Meet us, we'll go 3/4 of the way. Give us a quarter, and let's get to where we need to go.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can't let you go, Mona, without asking you. You don't just write film, right? You're also doing a TV series.
Yeah, I'm doing a TV series. Yeah. Still in scripting.
Right.
Yeah.
But you've written the first season.
Yeah, written the first season.
What's it called?
It's called Terra Firma.
Terra Firma.
Yeah.
Firm ground.
Firm ground, solid ground.
What's it about?
It's about relationships. So pretty much just seeing lifestyle, how we're affected. And funnily enough, this one also, it starts off at the political crisis that we had, and then it shows how these different people, how their lives are brought together by that and how they move forward. But it's basically about relationships and finding firm ground, as we relate to each other.
Are you on firm ground?
Yes, I am. Relationship-wise?
No.
In general? Yes, I like to believe I am. And that doesn't mean that everything is perfect in my life. It isn't. But it's just keeping your focus, keeping your belief. I believe in a greater power. I believe in God. So it's keeping your faith in all things, keeping positive. I try not to keep moaning about everything. Oh, we need money. Oh, I try not to do that because that doesn't help you. So be positive and get what you want to do. Find your passion. Keep doing it. Solid ground.
Mona Ombogo Scott. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done. Great stuff.
Thank
Keep
you
it up.
very much.
All the best. Mona Ombogo Scott is not moaning, as she says. That's right, and she's on solid ground. Good grief. Her first venture into the movie industry. She wins 2 Kalasha Awards. She gets 8 nominations, and she's moving on. She knows the pressure is on, but she can top it. She says Kenya can make it all the way to Hollywood and the Oscars. And we have the talent and the capability. We just need a little help. A quarter of the way. We'll do 3/4, she says. The government, anyone, step up, give us a bit, and we'll take it all the way. Good grief, what a guest, what a show, what a week it's turning out to be on Capital Talk. You cannot find these kinds of guests anywhere else. And if you're not watching Capital Talk, probably watching a movie somewhere. It's available right here on the award-winning station, K24. Where, as always, even in the movies, we are all Kenyan.
All the time.
I love it. Capital Talk is recorded at the Fairview Hotel, the country hotel in town.